Setting sail on a cruise requires careful consideration to ensure smooth sailing. So, if you're a new cruiser or just maybe planning your first cruise, here are four key mistakes to avoid. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Making Waves. If you are a newer cruiser or if you're planning your first cruise, there are some mistakes to avoid, so let's get into it. The first mistake to avoid is choosing the wrong cruise line. So, we all have preferences when it comes to our vacations. Are you looking to party it up or are you looking for peace and quiet? You could end up really disappointed in your cruise experience if you don't do the research ahead of time. So maybe you like to party and you like the nightlife and you like the big production shows. Maybe you want to look at Carnival Cruise Line, or maybe you would prefer a more quiet and reserved setting, perhaps with that extra level of service. You might want to consider a line such as Holland America. So, the line that you book with can really make or break your cruise experience. So, it's really important to do your research. Of course, there's lots of YouTubers who can share their advice on different cruise lines. I also really like cruisecritic.com. They have lots of boards for all the different cruise lines, and you can ask questions and get advice from seasoned cruisers. So just make sure that you are aligning your expectations and preferences with the cruise line. The next mistake to avoid is just booking the cheapest cruise you can find. Now, I know price is a consideration, it certainly is for us when we're booking a cruise. But you want to make sure that you really understand what's included in that fare. It can really vary across cruise lines, and even within the same cruise line, they might have different fare types. So, for example, if you book a really cheap cruise and you're on your cruise, you're enjoying yourself, maybe you're partaking in some alcoholic beverages, and then you find out on the last day of the cruise that you have a huge charge on your credit card because you didn't know that drinks were not included. So, really look and understand what's included. Most lines now will offer kind of cruise only fare along with maybe some all included fares that include drink packages, Wi Fi, gratuities, so that you can book the experience that you really want. Because what seems like a great deal may not end up being that way if you have to pay extra for the things that are important to you, such as Wi Fi and a drinks package. Similar to that, don't book the cheapest cruise without really looking at the itinerary. Let's say you're looking to book a 7 or 8 night cruise to the Caribbean and you find one that's a great price within your budget and you book it. Then you might find out later that either you've been to those port stops before and are interested in going back, or maybe that particular cruise has a lot of sea days. I know our last cruise had 4 sea days. Now we like that, but you might not. You might be someone who really likes a port intensive cruise. So before you start looking for cruises, I think it's really important to kind of identify your preferences and those non negotiable items so that you can find a cruise that will meet your expectations. Speaking of expectations, mistake number four is not considering who you're going to be cruising with. And I can give you an example. So, if it's just Will and I going on a cruise, we know we enjoy similar activities, similar excursions, similar food preferences for specialty dining. So, I know we're going to have a good time. But let's say, for example, that we were cruising with our parents. That experience might look a little different. And so we want to align our expectations. When Will and I cruise, we definitely like that mix of relaxation and activities. And we typically like to do at least one excursion that's fairly strenuous or thrilling or stimulating. But if we're cruising with our parents, we would definitely have to choose excursions that were less strenuous. So, really, just aligning those expectations is really important. Along with that, if you're cruising with a group of people, really talk about what that's going to look like before you get on the ship. For example, you might think, oh, I'm going to see you every now and then, but your travel companions might be thinking, no, well, I want to spend every waking moment with you all. We're going to eat together, we're going to hang out together, we're going to go on excursions together, and that might not be what you want. So really important to have those discussions ahead of time so that you can really enjoy your cruise experience. I hope that was helpful information. If it was, we would greatly appreciate you hitting the like button. It helps us out a lot. As always, we so appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch. And until next time, happy cruising.